I want you to meet two people. Let's call them Alex and Jordan. Same lifestyle, same job field, same general life. The only difference between them is one decision, made 20 years apart. Alex starts investing $50 a month at age 20. That's it, 50 bucks. Less than most people spend on takeout coffee in a single week. Jordan, on the other hand, doesn't start investing until age 40. But when Jordan finally starts, Jordan goes big, $500 a month. 10 times what Alex puts in. So here's my question for you before we go any further. By the time they both hit 65, who do you think has more money? Most people's gut instinct says Jordan, obviously. 10 times the monthly contribution has to win, right? Stick around because the answer is going to mess with your head a little, and once you understand why, you're going to look at your own bank account completely differently. Let's actually run the numbers. Here's the setup, kept simple. Both Alex and Jordan invest in something that grows at an average annual return of 8%, which, by the way, is roughly in line with the long-term historical average of the US stock market. So we're not making up some fantasy number here. Alex invests $50 a month starting at age 20 all the way until 65. That's 45 years of contributions. Total money Alex actually puts in, out of pocket, over that entire time? $27,000. Not exactly a fortune, just 50 bucks a month on autopilot for 45 years. Jordan invests $500 a month, starting at age 40, also going until 65. That's 25 years of contributions. Total money Jordan puts in out of pocket? $150,000, almost 6 times more money out of Jordan's own pocket than Alex ever contributed. Now, here's where it gets wild. At age 65, with that same 8% average annual return, Alex's account, funded with just $27,000 of actual contributions, grows to roughly $290,000. Jordan's account, funded with $150,000 of actual contributions, nearly 6 times what Alex put in, grows to roughly $440,000. Now look, Jordan still ends up with more total money in this particular example because $500 a month is genuinely a lot more than $50 a month. But look at the efficiency of each dollar. Alex turned $27,000 into $290,000. That's almost an 11 times return on the money actually contributed. Jordan turned $150,000 into $440,000. Still great, but only about a 3 times return on the money actually contributed. Alex's dollars worked roughly 3.5 times harder than Jordan's. Same market, same return rate, same discipline. The only difference was time. Now, let's make it actually fair. Here's the version of this comparison that really breaks people's brains. What if Alex and Jordan contributed the exact same total amount of money out of pocket over their lifetimes? Say, both put in $150,000 total, but Alex still started at 20 and Jordan still started at 40. To hit $150,000 total by age 65, Alex, starting at 20 with 45 years to invest, would only need to put in about $278 a month. Jordan, starting at 40 with 25 years to invest, needs that full $500 a month to reach the same $150,000 total. Same total money contributed, same return rate. But at age 65, Alex's account is sitting at roughly $1.6 million. Jordan's account, the one that required almost double the monthly contribution just to catch up on total dollars in, ends up around $440,000. Let that sink in for a second. Identical total contributions. One person ends up with over $1 million more purely because their money had 20 extra years to compound. Not because they were smarter, not because they picked better investments, not because they worked harder or earned more. They simply started earlier. Why time beats almost everything else. Here's the concept that explains all of this, and once you get it, you'll never look at "I'll start investing later" the same way again. It's called compound interest, and the simplest way to understand it is this. Your money doesn't just grow, it grows on top of its own growth. Picture a snowball rolling down a hill. In the first few seconds, it barely picks up any extra snow because it's still small. But the longer that hill is, the bigger that snowball gets. And here's the key part. The bigger it gets, the faster it picks up even more snow with every single rotation. The growth isn't a straight line. It curves upward, and it curves harder and harder the longer it's allowed to roll. Money works exactly the same way. In year 1, your $50 a month barely earns any interest because there's not much money there yet to earn interest on. But by year 20, you're not just earning interest on the money you put in. You're earning interest on all the interest you already earned in every year before that. By year 40, that snowball has been rolling down the hill for 4 decades, and it is enormous, growing faster in its final years than it grew in its first 2 decades combined. This is exactly why Jordan, even with 10 times the monthly contribution, could never fully catch up to Alex's efficiency. Jordan's snowball only had 25 years on the hill. Alex's snowball had 45. Almost double the time for the exact same physics to work its magic. The real cost of waiting. Let's talk about what waiting actually costs you in real dollar terms, because this is the part that should genuinely light a fire under you if you haven't started yet. If you wait just 5 years to start investing, say 25 instead of 20, assuming the same $50 a month at 8%, you don't lose 5 years worth of contributions. You lose way more than that, because you're not just missing 5 years of deposits, you're missing 5 years of compounding on top of every single dollar that would have followed. Starting at 25 instead of 20 can easily cost you $60,000 to $80,000 by retirement from just a 5-year delay on $50 measly a month. Wait 10 years, starting at 30 instead of 20, you could be looking at over $100,000 in lost final value. 10 years of delay on a contribution that's basically the size of a Netflix subscription and a coffee habit combined ends up costing you 6 figures by the time you retire. This is why financial people are almost obsessive about telling young people to start now, even with tiny amounts, instead of waiting until you have more money to really invest properly. There is no version of properly that beats starting small and starting early. None. The math simply doesn't support waiting for the perfect moment. What $50 a month actually looks like. I know $50 a month sounds almost like a joke when we're talking about retirement. So let's ground this in real life for a second. $50 a month is about $1.65 a day. That's genuinely less than a lot of people spend on their morning coffee order. It's less than most people's monthly subscription stack of streaming services combined. It's the cost of skipping one delivery order a week and redirecting that money instead. This isn't a video telling you to live like a monk, never enjoy your 20s, and eat plain rice for the next 10 years so you can retire slightly richer. It's the opposite message, actually. It's telling you that you don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle to set yourself up for a genuinely different financial future. You need to find $50, put it on autopilot into an index fund, and then go live your life while compound interest quietly does the heaviest lifting in the background for decades without you having to think about it again. But I'm already 30, or 35, or 40. Is it too late? If you're watching this and you're past 20, I want to stop you right here before you spiral into, well, I guess I missed the boat. You didn't. Here's why. The best time to start investing was 20 years ago. The second best time is today, and today is always better than tomorrow, next month, or when I get that raise. Every single year you wait is a year of compounding. You can never get back, but every single year you start earlier than you would have otherwise is a year of compounding you just bought yourself, for free, forever. If you're 35 and haven't started, the goal isn't to feel bad about the last 15 years. The goal is to make sure you're not also losing the next 15. Start with whatever you can, even if it's $25 a month, even if it feels embarrassingly small compared to what your coworker with the finance degree is putting away. Small and started today will always outperform large and started someday. What to actually do this week? Here's your homework, and it's genuinely this simple. If you don't already have a retirement or brokerage account, open one this week. Most major providers let you start with an index fund tracking the overall market, and you can literally begin with $50 or even $25. Set up an automatic monthly transfer so you never have to remember to do it, and so you're never tempted to skip a month because something else came up. Treat it exactly like a bill you have to pay, except this bill pays you back with interest for the rest of your life. Then, do nothing else. That's genuinely the hardest and most important part. Don't check it obsessively. Don't panic when the market dips. Don't try to time it perfectly. The entire power of this strategy comes from time in the market, not timing the market, and every year you leave it alone is another year that snowball keeps rolling down the hill, picking up more and more on its own. The difference between Alex and Jordan was never about who was smarter, who earned more, or who made better investment choices. It was 20 years of a snowball rolling down a hill that Jordan simply didn't have. You can't get back the years you've already lost. But you can absolutely make sure this is the year you stop being the person who was going to start soon. Drop a comment and tell me, how old are you right now and have you started yet? No judgment either way. I just want to see how many of you are about to become the next Alex instead of the next Jordan. And if this shifted how you're thinking about time and money, make sure you're subscribed, because next time, we're breaking down exactly why a Roth IRA might be the single most underrated account most people have never actually opened.